Welcome everybody to another episode of Out of Office, where we invite business professionals, entrepreneurs, and business owners to talk about everything but business. My name is Michael Guerrero, and I will be your host. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Out of Office. First of all, I'm not here alone today. I do have my co-host here who loves to travel and pretend like she didn't see it on the schedule. But everybody, please welcome my co-host, my sister, Karla.
Hi, guys. Thank you.
And I am super excited to be here today because today we have a very special guest. This guest, if she wouldn't have came up with this, we wouldn't be here today. But everybody, please welcome Laura Rodriguez.
Woo! Thank you for having me.
Hi, Laura. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Good. Thank you for taking your time today to be here because I know you're super busy and you have millions and millions of other podcasts you have to record.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I'm excited and also very scared.
Why are you scared?
Because shots are involved, you know.
Well, just don't talk about business and you want to take a shot.
I know.
But before this,
really
you said all you wanted to do was talk business. So we'll see how that goes.
It's a little Cross scary. Our fingers, yes.
It's exciting to have you here in front of us because you're usually in the back over there laughing at my and encouraging my stupid little jokes, which keeps me going. I'm like, is she laughing now? Is she laughing now? And I'm like, all right, keep going.
No, I'm having so much fun producing your podcast. I think Aiki and I are just having such a blast You're just so funny, man. You're like literally funny. I told you the other day, I was like, you were meant to be on TV.
Well, all I really want to do is just like joke around and everything. But then sometimes I'm like, okay, tone it down. We need to get to what we need to get to. And then every time you text me, oh my God, you're so funny. I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep going.
I was about to say something that I shouldn't, but you are funny, man.
This is a place where you should be saying it.
I know. This is a safe space. I do know that.
This is a safe space.
You know what?
Yes.
I'm always in the podcast when I'm here. And when I rewatch it, I'm laughing the same way that I did at the podcast. And he's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, it's because you're funny.
See?
Well, the truth of the matter is I never watched them because I cringe myself out.
No.
Is that normal or no?
Well, it is kind of normal at the beginning. It's kind of normal at the beginning. But, man, I sit down on your podcast. I take notes about your podcast. But then I sit down and listen to it. Like the first episode, the second episode, I was literally like having a drink and listen to it. And I just like crying. Yes. Even though I help edit that, you know? Like
yeah, thank you.
So
thank you for that encouragement.
See, Amner's like, so Michael's better than me? And Aiki and I are like, yeah.
What are you talking about? I don't want to hear about statistics. Well, this is kind of a different type of interaction with you because we usually don't do we don't usually do like our one-on-ones. It's usually like everybody else that we've kind of had on here is events where we usually see each other and we have conversations, but it's not the same.
No. Yeah, no.
It's not the same. And then it also kind of get to know you a little bit more than anything. Today I do have a topic for us.
Okay.
And our topic is going to be thriving.
Thriving.
Because when I do see Laura, I think thriving. Because I think for me, like the way that I see you thriving is first of all, you have so many things going on. And then second of all, your husband, which we'll ask you a little bit more about that. But
okay.
Your husband, Ahmed, he does a lot for the community. And instead of you like just like quote unquote falling like under his shadow, like you like are your own like professional and personal as well, because I see your stuff on social media. Like how do you say it? Like how do you say exitoso? Me trying to translate. Successful. Sorry. I just came back from Mexico.
Okay, we are not playing that card. We are not. Not today.
Asisto inglés.
Not today.
Anyways, so before we get into all of that, I want to get to know you a little bit more. So tell us where Laura is from. Do you come from a big family? Do you have a lot of siblings? Tell us a little bit more like of your coming up and how you ended up here in Iowa.
In Iowa. Yes. Okay, so I am originally from Guadalajara, Jalisco.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, was born there. My mom is 1 out of 10 kids. So she has 7 sisters, 2 brothers. I was raised by her mom as well, by my grandma. So I got to grow up with all of them, basically. In a little town called Tizapan el Alto, Jalisco, 45 minutes away from Guadalajara. And I do I have 3 siblings, 3 hermanos, 3 brothers. Angel is after me, then is Diego, then is Sebastian. And my mom is a single mom of the 4 of us. So that's basically like stars why we're here. Money problems, and it was so funny because she was younger than me, but she was like in her late 20s, and there was already not a job for her because she was already older for what she did for a living. So my tias and tios were already here. They were actually in Marshallton, and that's where she landed, in Marshallton. And then because she had always lived in Guadalajara, since the time that she was 15, she wanted and craved the city, so she made the move herself to move her in Des Moines. And then she moved us here.
Nice.
Slowly, but she moved us here.
Nice. So your whole family's here, or are there still some back in Mexico?
So in Mexico, I still have a couple tias and an uncle and my grandparents, obviously. But all of my brothers are here.
Oh, nice. Do you guys often like get together and?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yes. I think because we come from a single mom household, and then because my mom came here first, and it was just Angel, Diego, and I. We just kind of became like our own gang, and it was like us against the entire world, and that's kind of how my mom made our world. Like, it was us against everything, and we are very close.
Yeah.
My mom and my brothers are my absolutely everything.
Yeah, for sure. Like a typical Latino family, big family who do everything together.
Yeah.
Nice.
And there's boundaries. Now we're smarter about certain things, but they're still like my first loves before my kids. They're my first loves for sure.
So besides, like, I know you have like your family, brothers and sisters, you are married.
Yes.
And you have kids.
Yes.
Tell us about your family.
Oh my God, I've been with Abner for 15 years. It's gonna be 16 years on November.
Wow, la aguantaste tanto.
Yes. Well, I think
that's a lot of years.
Creo que it is a lot of years.
Yeah.
It's vice versa. I think it's like I used to get upset at people when they're like, mis tias were like, "Oh my God, like he's still with you," and I was like, "I'm not that bad, and like you don't know him either." But yeah, like it feels like when I say it aloud, 16 years, almost 16 years, feels like a lot, sounds like a lot, but it has never felt like that. We've been together for 11 years.
Are you serious about this, or are you just like saying it because you're in the podcast?
No.
Abner, are you listening? Are you watching this?
No, he doesn't have access to this.
Oh.
No, I think generally, like, when we met, he had already had Isabella, which is like our 20-year-old now. I met Isabella when she was like 4 years old. Probably the best thing to happen to me ever in my life.
Because you guys are very close, right?
Yes, we are very close. And I think that's just because she was 4 when I met her, But I always call her like the greatest gift that Amner has given me, because I had no business like being a stepmom or anything at that time, but it just opened my eyes into other things. And I wasn't even sure that I ever wanted to be a mom or I ever wanted to get married. I've always been a rebel. I've always been like against everything. And so I was just like, getting married, like, why? Like, I wanted to be a fashion designer. I wanted to take over Vogue. I wanted to take over Chanel. And I was just so like, that's all I wanted to do. But then, I met Amner and I continue to go towards the path that I wanted to go when it comes about my creativity, because Amner is like my biggest pusher, my biggest fan, but it's just, things change, and then like dreams started like switching a little bit, and then we had the twins, and now they're 13.
Yeah.
We have 3 kids, a dog, a house.
I was gonna ask you about like because, you know, thriving and all of that, like you have your own dreams and things. I was going to ask you about if Amnet and your family were like supportive and kind of had to do with pushing your dreams or like enhancing your dreams, I would say, to like getting that where you are now.
Yeah. I think that I was thinking about this because I just like was like interviewed for a newsletter, and they were asking the same question, but they were asking more like my grandma, my aunts.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had this episode where I remember that like because I didn't know how to sew, right? Like obviously my grandma taught me how to sew and things, but when I was in la secundaria, so it's what, like 7, 8, 9 grade here, right? I used to just like cut clothes, like, which is now called repurposing fashion. I used to like cut clothes, and like I didn't kind of know how to do it. So like I would just mess around and then, you know, just put like 2 pieces together. Let's just say that. And I know my aunt was probably not in the right mental health state, and neither my grandma. And they laugh about it, and it was like, why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting clothes? Especially because my mom used to send us to Mexico the money from the United States to Mexico to like for us to buy clothes. So like, why was I ruining, you know, the few clothes that I had?
Yeah.
And I remember just like breaking my heart, and I was like, maybe I'm not gonna be good at this. But there was something on me that I knew that I would just love doing it. I didn't know if I was gonna be good at it, but I knew that I was gonna do whatever it takes to do that.
Right. Yeah.
But ever since I met Amner, and including friends that we still have, because we met because we have mutual friends, he's, again, my biggest supporter. My mom just gave me wings since I was little. So she just let me dream, and she herself was like my icon when it comes about the way she dressed, the way she carried herself. Like my first influences with fashion is because of her. And my kids are the same, like the biggest supporters, but also they've been raised by creativity, so they're all part of my world.
Yeah. Do you think because they supported you in that way, that's why you kind of like you have your own identity in your own family, you think?
Well, Amner and I, from the very beginning, when I was pregnant with the twins, it was like, we're not gonna lose ourselves. Like, we're just not. And we're like, we're not gonna play like, you know, Sesame Street music. We're gonna play our music. Like, they're gonna live our lives. We're not gonna live theirs. I was so like obsessed with a thought that could be a thing, right? And we did it from the very beginning. There's obviously, having twins wasn't easy, so I do feel like there was like the first 4 years were really tough. And I had the twins when I was 23, with no real essence of who I was quite yet, even though I wanted to think that I knew exactly who I was. So the first 4 years were really, really isolated and really hard, but I never stopped creating. Like, I would work over the weekends when Amner was home, so Amner could stay with the twins and Bella, and I would work, but then I would like do a little bit of freelancing here and there. Like, I think by the time that they were 3, I had already had like 2 fashion shows. You know, so like I never, like, it was just this, like, I didn't know who I was, but I knew what I wanted to do. And it was always like Amner in the back of my mind, like in the back of my mind, yes, like if we do this, they're gonna be surrounded by it, so they're gonna love it. And that's why, like, they like Pink Floyd. That's why they like the Doors. You know, they like all of the things that we like because they were always just surrounded by what we were doing.
Yeah.
I have a question. So you are like the main character in your house, I assume, right?
I think it's my 13-year-old daughter now.
Because you run it. But very interesting. You said your mom was your role model.
Yes, continues to be, yes.
Right? And then now you are your daughter's role model. Like, how do you keep up with, like, your fashion and, you know, like, because every time I see you, I'm like, Oh my God, she's so
you.
beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I like that,
Thank
and I
you.
like like you're always well put together all the time.
Thank you.
Does she follow the same standards that you do?
Yes, but I don't think they're standards. I think it was just their life. That was their life, and I feel like at the beginning of mine, when my mom was able to be around, that was mine. Like I had no choice to not be in the world that I am. Like she was just so put together. Like even in the mornings when she will do my hair to go to school, she will wake up in this like beautiful white satin robe and like had to put on heels because I was already taller than her by that time that I was in 3rd grade. But she was like, to me, she like looked beautiful and stunning while doing my hair. And then will send me to school looking, with my uniform, like super well ironed and my socks and my zapatitos bien limpios. And she would send me like feeling my very best. So I had not a single choice to not be the way that I am. And same with Azul and Luca and Isabella. Like to me, it's what makes me feel good. It has nothing to do with like being trendy, being cool. It's just like, it feels really good. Our house is the same way. Like I love making people feel good, and I love creating beautiful things to give people that feeling.
Do you feel like, so with the work that you do now, you feel like you push that out as well? And you feel like
on the daily, like my title is creative director, like everything. Oh no!
We're not talking. Mira, ahorita no estamos manejando títulos, eh?
Nothing.
So now you have to take a shot.
I knew it too. Yeah, I knew you were gonna like take me.
And this is
the
favorite part of the show because people enjoy our drinks. Okay. You know what I was thinking? Maybe I should start like making drinks.
Like make cocktails?
No,
No.
We're gonna do this one because I think this one's a better tasting one.
Okay.
Have you had this one before?
No, I've never had that before.
And this one's just too strong though.
Okay.
Let me do.
I used to be a shot girly, but that was before the twins.
You used to be a what?
Like a shot girly, That's the only thing I drank. Now, no se puede.
ASMR.
There's yours.
Whoa.
That's your signature photo now in tu
and
podcast.
It smells really good.
That should be your new headshot for your business.
I was going to change it to my Facebook profile, but I was like, no. I was like, you want to buy a house? Here's a shot.
Clientes. They might like it.
Me showing up drunk to the...
No, la foto nomás para ver like, oh, he's a fun guy.
No. I mean, he is fun, but he does not need that on his Facebook.
These counters,
Sorry, Karla,
these counters are granite. Todo borracha.
Pues ya que.
Okay, ready?
Okay. Sí.
Cheers.
Salud. Karla, estás muy lejos. We did it. Okay. Oh, I also cannot not make a face.
I mean, it's good.
That's really good.
It's good though. It is. Ooh, dang, it is good. That's dangerous.
It is very.
Porque sabe rico.
Yeah.
By the way, I ate before I came here.
Oh, qué bueno.
Thank God.
Yo también.
Thank God.
Sí, yo también. Yo sí soy buena para comer. I don't know how you like not eat.
Oh, sorry. That just happens when you're a top realtor in the state.
Wow.
Well, now that we know a little bit more about you, let's get to more about the Cheeseman fun stuff.
Okay, let's do it.
Ahmed was on my first podcast, and he talked about how he talked about a lot of things, but he talked about how you guys
love stalking. Do you know that?
He said you guys were well, I don't know if he said you, but he said him that he was boring and that you guys didn't do anything and blah 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 blah. What are some things that maybe you, because I know you were in the back like, really? We do this, we do that. I know you guys had what was the name of the
Rosita.
Rosita. I know you guys have Rosita.
Yeah.
What are some things that you guys as a family do, or maybe when you have like a date night with Ahmed, like what do you guys like to do?
We just had a date night last night because the kids are in a school trip.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, we've been parents for so long that like it honestly feels really weird to like have the house for ourselves and the dog for like 3 days.
And Antonio.
And Antonio. Antonio's our dog.
Oh, Antonio.
Antonio's the main character, actually. Antonio's the main character of our household. Yeah, like when we go on dates, it's always so different, but it's always food first. That's for sure. Like we love food. Amna didn't say that, but I'm actually a really good cook.
Yeah.
Amna was like trying to name restaurants, and Amna didn't say, like, even though he was like, oh, like, you're the best. Like, this is so special. You can make us anything. Like, he really loves my cooking, but like somehow, like, he didn't want to name me or anything, which is fine because
he wanted to be the spotlight.
I mean, he did say Clyde's. That was his favorite restaurant, which makes sense because my brother is a chef there. Oh. So, you know, he was, so I get it.
Quit trying to find a way to relate to it. He didn't say you and that's
si
that.
No dijo mi nombre. So like, no, vamos a comer. You know, nos vamos a echar un drink here and there. Pero sí, like, it just because, one, we've been together for so long. And like drinking, the less drinking, the better that we are, honestly, on our relationship. Like patience for other things. No, como le digo without taking a shot. Like, but yeah, like we do drink, but we don't drink like we used to drink, I guess. Like Amner and I met at a nightclub.
Damn.
With that, I did like
okay, tell us how that went.
Tell us about that night.
Tell us about the nightclub.
You know what's funny? Like, it's like at the beginning when we had the twins, I was like, man, when we tell them this story, like, how do you tell them to be good kids? And then we met like in a nightclub, like drinking.
Like, Mom, can you tell me the story when you met my dad?
Yeah, like what, there was nothing like beautiful and inspiring
I was out here twerking, dipping and doing. and your dad said,
And I 100% was, man. 100% was.
What song was it?
It was actually like the very beginning of like having Latino nights in Des Moines. Man, I just aged myself, but that's okay. That's fine. I'm okay with aging. But it was like every last Friday of the month. So there I was. Wearing, you know, like, I don't know why at that time. Well, I mean, I know why, because I had legs and I was tall and I was skinny and young and perfect. And
so,
I had on.
Where are your legs now?
I mean, they're still there, you know.
Did you leave them at home?
Like,
she's like, I had legs.
It was just like, I felt like I was long for days. You know, that was my model era. But I was wearing a shirt. It was a shirt. It was just a size larger than I usually wear as a dress.
Oh, okay. I feel the vibe now.
Kind of like a Ariana Grande look.
Yes.
Were you wearing tall boots?
I was
you had a high ponytail?
I was wearing purple boots, but not that high. Oh, okay. And I wish somebody would have told me, like, stop wearing so much freaking black eyeliner.
Really?
You know, like that was like eyeliner.
Now I want to see a picture.
But it doesn't even look like anything like
insert
me.
It here.
You know, like even like, oh man, I was so young, and I was like, I kind of look better now. Not kind of, I look better now. But I was like, why does nobody tell me like to stop doing that? Yeah, and then I went out and I asked Kamner to take my picture because I didn't know him, and I was with his friends that were also my friends.
Oh, okay.
And I gave him my digital camera.
Hold on. And what year is this?
That's what I'm saying. See?
Not
We're really been
camera.
together that long. And I gave him my camera and he was like happy to do it. And then I kind of look at him and then I was like, oh, he's kind of cute. And I just said that. Like in my brain, you know, I didn't tell him that. And then, next thing you know, continue. Shots are rolling and then reggaeton is playing. Twerking is involved, and then next thing you know, we didn't talk to each other for like a whole year though. For a whole year, like, you know, just Amner had a daughter, like just things that needed to be taken care of, and like we just kind of like we'll keep running into each other. And, you know, Amner will slide into my DMs, MySpace, but it was always like, but nothing like,
not MySpace.
That's the thing, like, yep, there you go.
MySpace, she said.
But nothing like, you know, like slide into my DMs. No, it was always he was always asking me about my family. I will always ask him about his family. And I think Because somebody was like, oh yeah, that was like, you know, como se dice, amor a primera vista. No, I think it was just a connection, but also it was like, he loved his family and he did everything for his family, and I did exactly the same. And knowing that Bella was his number one was like the most attractive thing in the world. Like there was just something about how
very attractive.
You know, and I hadn't even met her yet. Like it was like, it was just knowing
just him
that.
talking about her and be like, she's my number one. You were like, that's hot.
And for some reason I was like,
You're
hell
like,
yeah,
I want that.
let's go.
with the black eyeliner and all.
Yes. And
Okay, so you were at this
hair.
club twerking. What were you drinking? What is your, like when you're out and about, what's your
my
go-to?
God.
But, and please don't tell me.
Not
Well,
now. But at that time,
Well, wait,
shots.
tell me now and then tell me then and tell me now. And please do not say no vermouth or whatever he mentioned last time. Because
It's gonna be bougie like that.
he was like,
No, I think you just get. I don't think it's bougie. I think you get older and then your taste for things changes. Okay, at that time, a good old like Red Bull and vodka
okay.
and shots. Like that Red Bull and vodka was there just like to tease the shots, because that shots were endless.
Are you a Don Julio or a Patron? Or what's your go-to?
Oh my God. You know what, like, the first time that Amner bought me a shot was? And he thought he was being fancy. Jose Cuervo.
Oh.
And I know he thought he was being like, oh, I know about tequila. And I'm like, bro, you don't even know where I come from. You know, I think that was the thing. Like, he knew I was Mexican, but he didn't know, like, how Mexican and where from tequila was, you know? And then I was like, ay, pobrecito. Pues, nomás puede con el Jose Cuervo. That's fine. I mean, price-wise, you know?
Well, I mean, so how did he go from Jose Cuervo to
Vermouth? Like I said, age. I think that just happened. Like, because like right now, like my drink of choice, like, but like,
I'm
I guess
sorry,
that's the thing.
Abner.
Like, I love me a good beer. I love me a great beer. Like, not a Corona. Like, I love me a great IPA. But, man, I love wine, but I love a good dirty martini. Vermouth is involved in the dirty martini with blue cheese, olives, and super dry. Like, I love me a great cocktail.
Is that like you guys go out now still and like you're kind of like just like, oh, we're just gonna drink a little bit, or do you guys not do that anymore?
No, we still like drink. When we go out, like last Friday we went out and we ended up at a basketball game at the Wells Fargo Arena because we had no kids. So we're like, we ate, we had drinks, and then we ended up over there, and it was like super fun. So it's like, it's just moderate fun. Not moderate, because we don't, it's just when it feels
like
right.
spontaneous.
Yeah, when it feels right.
Yeah.
I still go out a little bit more than him because I love a girls' night. I have a lot of girlfriends. Like, I believe that we should invest more time on girlfriends and friends. And, you know, he stays home with the kids and does the dad thing and cooks for the kids, and I get to go out.
Oh, that's nice.
Hell yeah. We're a
Hell
team.
yeah.
We're a team. Like Abner and I are a team.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what helps you be you
for sure.
rather than be what he, like, follow his dreams per se.
I mean,
shadow.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Or be his shadow.
I mean, that's when I say that we're a team is because, like, talking about those 4 years that I stayed with the twins and then they were hard for me, like, mentally and, like, as a woman, I also knew that we were building something or starting to build something. And that's not the first and only time that I've been, you know, home with the kids. Like, I've had my share of, like, I'm going to start this job, and then it didn't work out because Abner was already working on this, you know? So I've always, or for the very beginning, I was always like one that would quit the job so I could stay with the kids, you know? Because what Amner was doing, it was already much bigger, and it only makes sense, you know. And then Amner is just, I'm a dreamer, and like, not like dreamer as like a DACA recipient. No, I
was gonna say, we're talking immigration now.
Yo no tengo
Next topic,
papeles.
immigration.
Like I dream. I very, 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 very proud of that. Like, but like I think like I just think about 1,000 ideas a day, and then just like dreaming.
Yeah.
And he allows me to do that because he's like, nada más así. Like, this is how it works. This is how we're going to make it work. There's already business plans. There's already this. Like, his brain works in a complete different than my brain works.
Yeah.
So then like when you mush them together, it's perfect.
Yeah,
Like, it works, you know?
Yeah.
Like I designed the studio that we're like sitting on right now. He does the cells.
Yeah.
There's no way he could do what I do, and there's no way I could do what he does.
Right.
You know, but being shadows of each other, that we're not. I think it's impossible because we both have personalities as well. So it's like,
and then when I think of you guys, I'm like, oh, that's Laura, that's Amner. And then, but like at the end, it's like, oh yeah, they're married. It's not like they're like, the first thing is not, they're married. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I don't think of you guys as a
good.
unit, like
Good.
separately in your own like lanes, I think.
That's good to hear. I love that.
That's
Thank
why
you.
I thought thriving was a good topic because
Thank you.
you're doing like a million things on your own.
Thank
and it's not
you.
what Amner is doing.
I'm just not driving.
Damn.
I want to go back to your cooking because that's one of the other things that it's kind of part of you.
Sí.
And you were talking that one time when Amner didn't say your name. We know.
Name
okay,
me
it's
that I'm a
okay.
good cook, I guess.
But you
I
guys,
shouldn't have made dinner that night, and I still made dinner that night.
Oh, girl.
we recently, Karla and I recently went to Mexico, and our trip was planned around just eating. But I know you eat healthily.
I mean,
Well, yeah, you eat because you cook.
well, give me your question, and then like, do you think that I just eat healthy?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Do you
No.
ever eat like us peasants, like the nasty,
No,
the
don't
nasty
say that.
food, or what?
That is my favorite. Yes, I think this comes also from my mom. Like my mom always fed us like extremely well, and when I say extremely well, it's also so savory, so good, but also she was very health oriented. You know, and coming from a family that is that big, when they had nothing, she made like magic of like nothing
Yeah.
for us. But also the love of cooking came from her and my grandma and my great grandma that I was very lucky to have until I was 6 years old. So like I know how to do it all. Like I can throw down, you know, and then pozole, birria, like sé tortear, you know, but also like I just love food. So like I love sushi, you know. So then I taught myself how to make sushi porque the kids love sushi. And I was like, we cannot afford that, you know. So then when they were little, like I taught myself how to do sushi. Like I'll throw down in Italian too. So like I think we eat everything.
Yeah.
We eat everything. And no, like, I mean, my body can tell you at this point, I'm about to turn 36. Like I don't look like I looked like when I was 30. So it's not healthy oriented or like just trying to be diet. I don't believe in diets. I don't believe in restrictions. We just eat what we're like craving, and we're like our bodies is like, you know, feeling like I love fresh food in the summer, but like right now that I was just like un caldo de albóndigas, no, like albóndigas like ahorita y un caldo de res.
That sounds good.
Like
Un
así.
caldo de res. That
Sí,
sounds
like
good.
así. Like I love me like.
What do you think is like your, like when you're cooking, what's like your signature dish? Like what do you think is the, like lo que haces mejor, or like Amner is like, you know what, I want you to make this because you make it the best.
I have a few things, pero this one is funny porque I don't know if you guys know about this chef. She has a couple documentaries on Netflix, and she's a woman and she's a chef in Mexico City, and she has this restaurant called Marimar. No, don't quote me on this one, but she cooks seafood.
Oh, okay.
And I watched this documentary one time, but in PBS. It wasn't even Netflix yet when I had the kids little. And she made this tuna tostadas. Pero like instead of like tuna from a can, like raw tuna, almost like a sashimi. And I just like kept thinking about this tuna tostadas forever and forever and forever. And at that point, like, one, I didn't have the money or the access to this kind of fish. And then finally one day, like I have access to the fish and I have the money for it. And I just buy this like tuna steaks, and then I make this tostadas following what I remember, and then watching that Netflix documentary. And then I make this crazy raw tuna tostadas, and the kids went crazy. But my kids usually go crazy for my food, period. That's what I'm saying. Like they love me. And then I started making them for friends. And then everybody was like, when are you going to start selling this? Right? Like everybody, like whenever you make something, like, why don't you start making money out of this? And I think because I started doing it before even 2020. I probably started doing it in 2019. Is everybody always asks, like, I have a friend named Roberto, and I was like, he doesn't like to go out much, but if Abner says that I'm making tostadas, like, Roberto will show up. Mm-hmm. So maybe that will be my signature dish.
Good thing I know your address, cause
yeah.
But I don't like seafood, so please make me something else.
Okay, we can throw down. I mean, I can make a version of a torta ahogada, ¿verdad? Pero pues without the bread.
What is it then?
Pues es que the bread. By the way, I haven't been back home in 21 years. So, like, it's funny because I still remember what it tastes like or the consistency of del pan. And here, because of where we live and what the altitude or the elevation is, like, no se pone así de duro and it's not as salty. So you can try a good sourdough, you know, a good like fresh baked bread, because we do have a lot of bread, but it will never be the same.
No, I learned that when we were over there. They said they try to recreate it over there, but the altitude and the pressures are different.
Okay, and I only knew about the altitude and elevation because of my mom. Like, my mom makes her own bread for tortas now because she has her own business, and I mean, the torta bread is amazing, but like tratar de hacer un bolillo, like, it's imposible. Like, my mom doesn't like to fake around. So I was like, no, yo no voy a vender esto because it's not what it should taste like.
So what is your version of our torta ahogada? You said you.
So pues I go and then buy bougie as bread, you know, the one that has like a thick crust. And then I'll probably go to El Valle to make my life easier. I'll go to El Valle and buy some carnitas. But then I do the salsa myself.
By the way, I'm going to charge El Valle for that promotion.
Sorry, Karina.
Karina, you'll get an invoice
Sorry.
from Michael.
Yeah, and then, you know, las cebollitas curtidas, and then I just...
My mouth is watering.
Like, servirlas en un bowl, ¿no? Porque, I mean, pues en una bolsa, pues más rico, ¿eh? Pero cuando you're having dinner...
La bolsita.
So I also been making that for so long that Azulita is now 13, but Azul was like probably like 5. She's like, Mommy, can you make, you know, those tortas that you make sometimes? I'm like, what torta, honey? You know, and she's like, because we also make tortas con jamón. And then she's like, you know, those like drowning tortas. No, those floating tortas. And then look at just like, they're not floating, they're drowning tortas. Una torta ahogada.
I love a torta ahogada in a bag. Yeah.
That's the best.
Last time not this time, but last time when we went to Mexico, I ordered one, ate it there, and then ordered one to go in a bag, and I ate it in the car.
Oh yes.
Big bag.
My last, because I came here on August 8th of 2003. In July of that same year, I went to watch an Atlas Chivas game in el Estadio Jalisco. And that was my last torta ahogada afuera del estadio en una bolsa.
Yeah, that's the best. That was like the perfect setting and everything.
The best, man.
And you know what? Like, everybody talks about them like, oh my God, they're so good. They're like the biggest. They're like everything. And I don't like them.
You don't like them? I guess, yeah.
I just don't see.
Why? Because they're messy?
I don't see the reason why you should eat like a
soggy
bread soggy with
That's
meat.
the best part.
Like,
yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, there's so many good things. And I do know like some people that don't like certain things. And I'm like, I mean, I guess. Because in Mexico, there's food for everybody.
Yeah.
Like
the tortas ahogadas place, they also sell like the tacos dorados. And so he's always like, let's go get a torta. I'm like, oh God, okay, again.
I'll eat tacos.
And I always eat tacos. And I'm like, what
tacos
are torta?
So good.
Yeah, but they are
Tacos
good.
So good.
They are good.
Yeah, they
so
are.
good.
They are. Yeah, I love it. I love tortas ahogadas. I dream about it. I ate them every day I was over there.
Man,
I loved it. Yeah, we're gonna have to go on a torta ahogada date.
Soon.
Torta ahogada
Soon.
date.
I would love to join you guys.
That would be great. Imagine.
Oh, ya casi vas a ver. Ya casi. Manifesting this. For sure.
So going back to our topic, back to our thriving topic, I think for you it stands out because you have your own family and you know you have kids, you have a husband, but yet you're still able to do all these big things. For the people who feel like they're like kind of stuck in that mentality, what do you think would be a good, like some good advice, I guess, for them? Because I feel like in the Latino community, there's so many people that are stuck in the women should be in the kitchen and the man should work. But I feel like there's so much potential out there, especially from Latinos, that is being wasted. Like, what would you say, like, that has worked for you that you can, like, pass along and help them?
This is like a hard one too, because I also know women personally that, they're, Latinas as well, but that's what they want. They want to stay home. They want to be stay-home moms. And as, before being one, because all I wanted to do was like having the babies, I went from like not wanting kids to like wanting to have a baby, and I wanted to be the best and I wanted to be present. So like I understand both worlds now, because now Bella's 20 and the twins are 13. Also Bella has a mom, so like Bella was just a shared gift, right? But now that I get to do my own thing, like I feel like, because I had a cleaning business for like 3 years, and even though it was very successful, I didn't feel like I was thriving, even though I was thriving, and like money wise, like it didn't make sense, So it was just like going to Latino trade networks and or other places where we would meet, that I was like, oh, like I have to let go of this like boss babe, which no shame, like that boss babe mentality, go, 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 go. It's fucking amazing, but it almost broke me.
Yeah.
It almost broke me because I was stressed out, because my body was telling me that I couldn't keep going.
Because the expectation was too high, you think?
Expectations were too high, not only from clients, but from the people outside. And then also when they start using the Latina boss babe, it's like, damn, like, so tengo que, like, I have to keep going, even though the only thing that I can think of is not keep going. So I tap into like, I was like, I need to be creative. That's what I'm good at. Like I'm pretty sure that I was born to just do that. That doesn't mean that I don't work. I work, but it was just like this other, like refining what that looked like. And that took for me to be very open with Abner and telling him, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I was like, don't do it anymore. What do you need? And we talked about it. Of course, we already had what we're doing now. and that worked. And then he just backed me up. He backed me up, and he's like, how much time you need? What do you need? And then I was like, literally give me a summer with the kids, and then I will figure out what to do. But my goal was like, I only get to make money being a creative. I don't want to do anything else except make money by being a creative, and figure out what the world looks like. Porque el mundo, the world and I'm just going to say Latinas without like putting Latino or like, male, from the male's perspective, like the only representation that we have, or the only mentors that we have, are like go-getters, like this insane mentality of that's the only thing. And then nobody's checking in on their mental health, or the way that they eat, or the way that they're like actually feeling about what they do, or being with their kids, or like checking in with their kids. Feel like I come from like a beautiful, beautiful household of a single mother, but that worked endless hours. And that was never actually there, because she had to fit me. She had to, not only me, but my brothers, and like keep like a roof, under our heads, and had to buy us clothes, and they didn't even speak the language. Like, this woman worked and worked and worked. And the only thing that we did, it was missing her, because she brought us here and we were still not with her. So I didn't want that. I wanted the whole opposite. Of that. Now, without being said that, I think my mom is the most badass human being I have ever met in my life. And I was 10 by that entire time. Nobody can match my mother. But I didn't want that. And then finding myself into this world of like CEO and founder, like that just didn't resonate with me. And then out of nowhere, not out of nowhere, like I knew at some point I will probably end up where I am, but when Amner asked me to like, join Amplified. Like,
It's
Pues
okay.
I
It's
took
okay.
it.
It's
Pues I
okay.
took it because I was saving. I was gonna help him like make this what I'm trying to do. I only started on April. We're starting to, we just don't want it to die. You know, Amner has put so much of his heart and years on Amplified. We started this on 2020. We're in 2024, the end of 2024. Like, I gotta give it a good shot because Amner took so much time, and that time was like away from my kids, away from us, to like fight harder for other people so they could, tell their stories. Like, there's no way I'm gonna let it die.
Right.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And now I'm here.
Yeah, and you've been doing a good job driving it. I feel like
you.
now more than ever, a lot of people
Thank
are
you. But anyway,
enjoying
sorry,
the podcast
before,
and stuff.
I know I just ramble about that, but I think like everybody needs to figure it out. Everybody needs to share their actual story.
Yeah.
I think like us as like people that are out there in the community, it cannot always be like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
It should be a little bit more like, why don't you become a little bit more vulnerable and more approachable?
Yeah.
Specifically more approachable to people so they can actually ask you and pick your brain, and you actually mentor and help those people that need mentorship and need help.
Yeah. And I'm more than welcome to do that for a price.
Like, subscribe to my podcast.
So subscribe to the podcast. Well, thank you so much, Laura. It was amazing to talk to you one-on-one finally. And thank you for being on the podcast.
Yes.
You do owe me a shot. So we're going to take a shot. And
I thought he was going to forget.
Oh, no.
I don't think Michael forgets anything.
That's a sin.
No, actually, Michael doesn't forget anything. I know some things he doesn't forget.
What?
Ooh, she knows something she don't forget.
It's your podcast.
Are you talking about me trying to bring it back up?
No podemos decir nombres porque then, what if they shut us down too, man?
I know.
No ser chismoso.
Imagine. Here's yours.
Imagine they take us down.
Just because of that one.
There's power.
Like, damn, we should
out
never have
there.
Michael. All right.
Salud.
Cheers.
Chicos, muchas gracias for
This is
having
the
me.
second one
Yeah?
in this
Yeah.
podcast.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Ooh, delicious.
Ooh, I will never not make a face for real.
Before you go, Laura,
Dime.
tell us, what do you do now? Tell us everything you do.
No more shots.
And where
Yes.
can people find you? How they can get in contact with you? How can people start their own podcast and tell their story and amplify their voice?
Yes. I'm the creative director for Amplified DSM, a multi-podcast platform and production company that my husband started. How do you can start your podcast? Oh my God, you can start your podcast by going at amplifydsm.com, or you can also find us on Instagram at amplifieddsm. And you just fill a little bit of form, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll contact you right away. It'll probably be Abner first because he does the sales. I'm just a creative girly. But then after that, I will work with you in the post-production. And if you everybody wants to have a podcast. But if you want a podcast and you don't really have an idea, I will help you like break it down and figure out how that looks like. I stopped calling myself a fashion designer a while ago, but like I'm also a designer. I'm a stylist.
But do you still do the pop-ups or no?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm actually having one on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
So I do pop-ups. I think, so it's like two things. Like I feel like I breathe fashion as much as I like breathe what I do now as a podcasting platform. But I sell clothes. I remake clothes. I make fashion shows. I'm a mother and a stepmother. And you can find me on Instagram as Laura D. Rodriguez. On Facebook. I do have LinkedIn, but I only use it to like share things that we do at Amplified. I don't really like LinkedIn, to be completely honest. But I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram, and you can always reach out. That too. Like I do have an open door policy when it comes about any questions or any advice, or also have an open closet door policy. If you have an event coming up and you want to like borrow my closet, you can also come over and borrow my closet.
What? I didn't know
Can I
that.
borrow? Can I borrow? Can I borrow
always
that
have
dress?
middle closet policy. Yes.
Can I borrow that dress?
Yeah.
Fine. I'm gonna be at your address every morning to get ready for work.
Yeah, let's do it. There's a stylist in there
Damn.
with a fee.
Oh, there's a
I gotta
there's
start
a catch.
I gotta
There's a
start
catch.
making money somewhere, guys. The advice is free.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you, guys.
I loved our conversation today, and I hope we can have you back on here on the future. So thank you so much. Now tell them what you do, girly pop.
Hi. So I am an insurance agent for all your personal needs, home, auto, and business. You can find me on Facebook through Legado Insurance Professionals, or you can just reach out to me at 515-619-8302.
Normal people only, please. Do not show up to her house and do not hit her up.
Right.
Don't hit her up for dates.
Yes, do not do that. Cool. And I am Michael Guerrero. I am a realtor here in the state of Iowa, licensed to help you buy and sell. I just recently started my own team, the Empire Team. So you can find me on Facebook at Michael Guerrero Realtor or the Empire Team, and we can help you out. Thank you guys for joining us today on another successful episode of Out of Office, and we will see you guys in the next one.